Well, I've got a tragic story for you. A female hunter was found dead after an apparent suicide. This was following online threats from animal rights activists. This is Melania Capitan. She was 27 years old, and she became kind of an internet sensation on social media. She would post a lot of photographs showing her hunting activities, and she'd give advice on some of her hunting tactics. But she became the victim of an online cyberbullying campaign. People were threatening her, tell her how disgusting she was. It should have been you that was slaughtered and killed. So these are the type of things that we've seen, again, when people will dare post pictures of themselves with their game. Now, I wanted to get Liberte Austin on the show. We've had her on before. She's also a female hunter, very outspoken Second Amendment advocate. She's a hunting editor for The Truth About Guns, and she was most recently featured as a contestant on Miss Wild Game on the Outdoor Channel. Liberte, thank you so much for taking the time to get on the show. I know this is a story that is really close to your heart, being a female hunter and the target of online bullying yourself.
It really is. About the fact?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, it saddens me what's happened. I read that story this morning, and it just breaks my heart that this girl, 27 years old, being harassed by animal rights activists, anti-hunters that are attacking her for her point of view, basically her passion, and that it resulted in such a tragedy and that she took her own life.
Right. And I was really impressed. You made a really spirited reply there. I saw it on Instagram where you're basically calling out the hypocrisy of a lot of these people. These are people who are sitting behind a keyboard and they have no problem telling someone to kill themselves, yet they claim that they care so much about animals, yet they have so little compassion for people. Even after her death, after her suicide, they were still cyberbullying her. And I thought your response was excellent. It's something I never even considered myself. You point out here in your social media response that less than 2% of the entire population hunts, whereas 97% plus eat meat. And so that means that there's only a very small percentage of people that are actually going and filling their own freezers with meat they hunt. You're staying connected to where your food is actually coming from. Meanwhile, these social justice warriors sitting behind the keyboard are probably eating a cheeseburger, never even thinking about how that meat got onto their plate.
That's right, Leanne, and thank you for pointing that out. I wrote that post earlier. It makes me so mad that I feel like these anti-hunters and these animal rights activist groups, their anger is misdirected. When, as you said, the 2% of us are hunters in the entire population, when 97% are meat eaters. So that means that where are they getting their meat from? They're getting their meat from these meat factories that have horrific conditions, not only for the animals, but for humans as well. And that needs to be it needs to be directed at where the source of the problem actually is, which is these meat factories. They are killing 9 billion animals a year. That's 1 million animals, I believe it's a minute. It's outrageous. And it's just a problem that people can drive up to a drive-thru and pick up a burger for $2. But what did that actually cost us for the environment, for basically everything around us that affects? And people don't see that. We're less than 2% of the population. We actually go out and get our meat. We harvest animals that are in the wild, living happy, full lives. Of course, taking their life is a big deal for us as hunters. We actually get to contact with that animal. We get to touch that animal, and it's very real to us. It's very close and intimate. That we have this connection with our food that I don't believe that most people realize exists, because they do have such a arm's length transaction with their meal.
Right. And I spoke with you a little earlier, and you said that you actually are practicing to be a vegan unless you've actually killed that meat yourself and put it in your own freezer, that otherwise you're practicing pretty much a vegan diet, which I think is impressive.
That's right, Leanne. I am trading my meat-eating ways. I'm going to be a plant-based diet only unless I have harvested the meat myself. I feel like that's the only way that I can live without the conviction of knowing that these animals are being slaughtered in such a horrific way And plus, it just loses my own connection with food. I love food. I want to be connected to it. I want to know where it comes from. And the ingredients that are being put in some of the hormones and antibiotics in this meat, it's really not healthy for me. So it's really a choice that I've made for my health, just for overall, for me to feel good about where my food is coming from. And I'm really happy about that decision. I feel more confident now that I'm going to be able to truly hold my head up as a hunter and say, get rid of that hypocrisy. There is no, if I want to eat meat, I'm going to have to go get it myself. And that's how we should all, I believe it should be. That's how it's intended.
Wow. And that's incredible to me because I don't really like hunting. I especially don't like big game hunting. It makes me cry, but I'm vegetarian. So I'm not being a hypocrite, kind of being a keyboard warrior. First of all, I would never cyberbully anyone, but I'm not sitting there shoving meat in my mouth, but then telling you, how dare you be a hunter when you're obviously being very conscientious about it. But this brings me to another point where it's okay to cyberbully certain people if you don't like their lifestyle. For instance, when Cecil the lion was killed, just this massive cyber army actually came out into the real world and were targeting this dentist who participated in this wild big game killing. But then you had other outlets going, hey, everyone, here are other people who are hunters too. Direct your energy and your anger at them as well. When you're seeing that these are real world repercussions, people are actually taking their lives because of this cyberbullying. It's just really incredible, the hypocrisy there where, if you dare talk to someone who's in this body positivity movement and they're actually obese, and you dare point that out to them how detrimental that is to people's health, well, then you are going to be kicked off of social media and you'll be cyberbullied because there are certain kind of protected groups. It's just incredible to me. How do you deal with that?
Well, I get a lot of the hate myself on my own social media outlets for hunting. It's such a hypocrisy to me. Almost every product that we have around us is made by some animal byproduct. And what people don't realize is that, how did that animal die? How did you get that product? Are you wearing these shoes? You're riding in a car that has leather seats. It's all hypocrisy, unless, again, you know where really it comes from. As far as the threats, they're severe, they're harsh. I personally don't let them get to me, but I have days where I see this one comment and it ruins my day, because they're so hateful. And the lack of compassion for humanity is, to me, it's obscene that we place such little value on human life, and that we are prioritizing other subject matters that I don't believe are as important as a human's life. Obviously, again, conditions in meat markets and meat factories, things like that, they're horrific, they're awful. That's where we should be directing anger to, is the people who are really not caring about animal life. And I think hunting is a far cry from that. We are conservationists. All the money that's put into Texas Parks and Wildlife, the National Parks and Wildlife Associations, to help conservation, essentially.
Well, Liberty, thank you so much for using your platform to draw attention to this. I think it's really incredible to just point out where cyberbullying, it's never okay, but for some reason, some people see it as a protected class. Tell people where they can follow you and find you on your social media account.
Thank you, Leanne. I am available at The Truth About Guns. Read my blog. I have a hunting digest. We talk about subjects like this. Look me up on social media at liberteaustin.com. Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you, Liberty.
It's great to see you.
So here again, we are seeing that some of the biggest websites used by young children, Instagram and Facebook, are the #1 places where young people are facing cyberbullying. It's never okay. But we just wanted to point out the hypocrisy there. If you're going to dare go to your keyboard and target these hunters that are practicing conservation with their hunting, then maybe you better check and find out where all of your food, clothing, and etc. is coming from.
We're selling a product, DNA Force, that is the very best nutraceutical that we can produce. Dr. Group, you took years for you to develop DNA Force for us.
It's been something that I've been working on for a long time, Alex, because I think it's very, very important. What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
We chose the PQQ because it has over 175 different clinical trials. It's one of the most effective substances in the world. It works like an antioxidant. It works to repair nerve growth factor.
So this is a formula to deliver the maximum amount. It's in powder form.
We have so many 5-star reviews. I take this. This is the product that I take.
InfoWarsLife.com, and the profit we make. We fight the globals. We fight the New World Order. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.